Google fonts are all the craze. Tons of typefaces for free. Every designer's dream. This is until you decide to level up your type game and go premium. So here are 3 premium alternatives for the most popular typefaces on Google Fonts at 3 drastically different price points. All the way up from $300 down to $3. Yes, you heard me. Paid fonts don't have to be expensive. My name is Joe. Let's get started. Google Fonts is an amazing resource. Tons of typefaces, hundreds and thousands of typefaces in all kinds of variants that you can imagine there for you as a designer to try out. And yes, I'm guilty of using Google Fonts myself. Google Fonts is just so great, especially when you just get started or when the budget is tight or when you want to try something new and you're not quite sure in which direction you want to go. So there's nothing wrong with Google Fonts, but often enough you have good reasons to actually go away from Google Fonts and maybe try something else. For example, Google Fonts might not be legal in your country. Yes, embedding Google Fonts is actually a little bit troublesome in countries of the European Union where the GDPR applies. Recently, there has been a website owner fined for, I think, 100 euros for using Google Fonts on their website. But then also, you might find that Google Fonts are a little bit of a compromise. So you might not get exactly what you're looking for. And then the most troublesome for those of you who want to go premium is that Google Fonts are everywhere. Because Google Fonts are so popular, your font, the font that you chose on Google Fonts, might be so as well. So I looked up the most popular Google Fonts and tried to find very good and premium alternatives for you. Let's start with my absolute favorite, Poppins. Poppins is a Google font that just exploded in popularity. The clear minimalist sans serif is very popular for startups of all kind for a good reason. It just looks very, very cool. But the issue with Poppins is that it's just everywhere. So every new company, every startup seems to be using Poppins nowadays. When we started Human Deluxe in 2018, we chose Poppins as our corporate font as well. So what alternatives are there to Poppins? If you are going for the premium startup look of companies like Spotify or Google, then there is only one typeface for you. Circular by Swiss foundry Linedo. Linedo? I don't know how to pronounce them. Linedo. Circular is definitely the typeface that is most iconic for its clean startup techie look. Circular starts at 190 Swiss francs or roughly 200 US dollars per style or 840 Swiss francs for the whole package. If, however, 840 Swiss francs are not quite in your font budget, then you might want to check out Sophia Pro. Sophia Pro by Olivier Gauvin, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, is a beautiful sans serif font that has very many similarities to Poppins or Circular and works great as a minimalist and clean font. It's available in 17 styles and comes in at $21 per style or $213 for the whole family. An interesting alternative to Sophia Pro is the Filson Pro by the same foundry and the same designer, and the exact same price. It, in my opinion, looks a little more interesting, has some more interesting details and is a little bit rounder, so you might want to check out Filson Pro as well. Well known for its condensed look, Bebas Neue is a very popular poster font that many of you might associate with the Instagram posts of Chris Do and the likes. So if you want to emulate the style of Chris Do and people like him, then you might want to check out the actual font that they are using, Champion Gothic. Available on typography.com, the family with 6 styles starts at $200. A cheaper and really interesting alternative is the Flexible by Art Grutstein. Starting at $11 or $51 for the whole family, Flexible is what its name says. It's a flexible font, so a variable font that you can adjust to your liking. If you want to go for the cool squarish look of sci-fi poster design, you might want to check out Spaceland. Spaceland is a font available on myfonts.com, which comes in 22 styles, each with a different width and a slightly different thickness. The cool thing is that some styles of Spaceland are free, so you can just download them and play around with them, and the whole family comes in at $126. One Google font that I see all the time is Lobster. So Lobster used to be extremely popular because of its crafty, soft, and even retro vibes. You have these squiggly lines, but not quite in the right way. What you're trying to achieve with Lobster is always a bit of a compromise. So here are 3 alternatives for Lobster that come in exactly where you want them to be. If you are going for the retro handmade style, you might want to check out Handley Pro. At $25 per style, Handley Pro has a handmade vibe, comes in soft, and really works with American handmade retro designs of the 60s, 70s. If, however, you are aiming more for a softer, more female, maybe more crafty vibe, check out the font Gotcha. Gotcha is actually more on the cheaper side and comes in at $6 per style and works beautifully on handmade or handcrafted products, as it is a really nice handwritten font. If, however, the swooshy, almost 70s-like aesthetic is what appears to you on Lobster, you might want to check out the font 70s. So 70s is an exact replica of the handmade poster designs of the 1970s, looks really psychedelic, disco-like, and comes in at $14 per style or $85 for the whole family. So I hope you discovered some new typefaces in this video. In the next one, we will talk about alternatives for Playfair, Open Sans, and Roboto. And if you want to see more typefaces or more alternatives for Google font typefaces, let me know in the comments below. And of course, make sure you are not missing the next video. I will see you in this one. Until then, bye.